Hey there, this is Darren LaCroix, day 52. If you have a story to tell, if you have a memorable message to share, one of the cool tools that I learned from Patricia Fripp a long time ago was the power of specificity. Now, if you know me well, Mr. Dyslexic, you know that that is a big word for me, not only to know and to understand. So specificity, when you're telling your stories, it's so much more compelling to people, to the listener, when we have specific details. In your story, if you want it to be memorable, there's got to be specificity. And then it also makes you more believable. So when the opposite of that is generic. So if I'm telling a story, it was forget my own date, April 26, 1992, Stitches, Boston, Mass. It creates more of a vivid image in the listener's mind. So because of that, we tend not to question it either. You gave us a specific date. So let's just say that you're talking about an important phone call. That's part of your story. So the phone call, you're sitting at work at your desk on Friday morning. Well, what will plant that seed? Remember, part of our job as messengers is to plant that seed deeply so it becomes remembered. One of the ways we do that is with specific details, not too much detail, but with some short specificity details that makes the story credible and memorable. So if you were saying you were sitting at your desk and it was Friday morning, it would be much more compelling to say, there I was, frustrated, sitting at my desk, and the phone rang. I picked up my phone, I looked, it was 10:32. Like 10:32? That is more specific. That also tells or creates backstory. What that means is, that not only did I look at the clock, but I read the clock and it was, it becomes now more emotional and you're more connected to that moment because of the specifics. You're more believable, more credible. Now I'm there with you. So bring in some of that emotion, but definitely bring in specificity. If I just said, there I was, my first time on stage, it was some Sunday night back in the early 90s, as opposed to April 26th, 1992. Stitches, Boston, Mass. So where in your stories could you add some more specificity? Could you create more of that vivid image to bring us into your story, make it more memorable, make it more believable, add to the credibility? So specificity is one of the keys to being unforgettable and delivering your message. So go back and think of the stories you tell again and again and just say, where could I be more specific? And if and when you do, you'll be more memorable. So that's it for today. Tell your story, inspire by example, and think too of who's your audience and what do they need? What's that subject area where they need help? Because if you were trying to build your following, you want to be helping people along the way with your story, with your transparent openness, with the lessons that you've learned along the way. But what does your market need? What of the people who have the problem that you help solve, what do they need? Starts with a great question. We'll see you tomorrow.